The weekend has come to a close, but we do not end things here. So today we're going to be doing a one review episode only. I decided I want to focus on this one. As you probably know, New Japan Pro Wrestling had their latest pay-per-view, Dominion in Osaka Jo Hall. Now, many may have seen many of their shows of Dominion. For me, the best one I ever enjoyed was back in 2018 when Kenny Omega finally defeated Kazuchika Okada to become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So the real question we ask ourselves, what's going to be the difference now? Well, a lot of things will be taking place. We do have title matches and special matches, so a lot of things could happen. But the biggest surprise is what we did not anticipate coming from the House of Losers. But this is exactly why Evil has been causing nothing but problems. But we'll see what happens from here on out. And then, as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world, pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the yapping. It's time to hit the highway. So let's begin with our only review for this episode is, of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion. Alright, New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion at Osaka Jo Hall. Now, we opened up, of course, as usual, with the war between both the War Dogs and the House of Losers. Now, representing the War Dogs, we have Taiji Shimori, Chase Owens, Clark Connors, and Joe Maloney facing off the House of Torture. However, we did see 3 of the 4 who are participating. We have Yujiro Takahashi, Ren Narita, and Sanada. Now, Evil did stated there was going to be a new member joining the group. What we did not anticipate is, surprisingly, the person who joined was Bad Luck Fale. That's right, folks. The same Bad Luck Fale, a Bullet Club original who showed up. He is now part of House of Torture, calling himself now Don Fale. And Chase, he looked like he couldn't believe his eyes. What just happened? They were looking at him like, what just happened? I thought you two were boys. That sort of thing, of course, this war between the War Dogs and House of Torture dates back when, of course, Evil thinks that he is the true pinnacle of what the Bullet Club is all about. But, of course, one thing led to another. We did not anticipate what came next after this. All of a sudden, when we thought the War Dogs could have had things under control, once again they were stabbed in the back, and this time by Chase Owens. He kicked, of course, Drilla Maloney in the gonads, and then of course Sonata whacked him with guitar, and just like that, he pinned pinned Drilla Maloney 1, 2, 3. Very disappointing, No one expected Chase Owens to turn, but I think many people were saying that David Finlay, since he took control, he wanted to change things with the War Dogs. But I think many of us question what's going to happen next from here on out. I mean, things have been changing with Bullet Club for quite some time, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure Fale is having a great time knowing he got it, but I think many people question what does this mean for the Rogue Army with our part of the Bullet Club. Well, we don't know yet. Some people say it's over, but who knows? Let's move forward. Our next match, we have TMDK, Rohei Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Shota Umino and El Fantasmo. Now, of course, we know that Rohei Oiwa and Shota Umino, they were part of the same class, I think. And it's interesting that they meet up. But one thing that was fantastic is seeing Shota Umino throwing a bit of the technical aspect right in front of Zack Sabre Jr. That is one of those things that I kind of enjoyed. But however, Zack Sabre Jr., if you guys know this, he was dubbed as the technical wizard because he knows how to maneuver you out of a position, and he was able to do that when he applied the bridge onto Umino, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have a generational match, Yuya Uemura versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, Tanahashi, for those who don't know, he told Yuya Uemura that he feels that he's going to be the one to take his place once he's retired. Like, he's feeling like he should be the one to take the reins, as the guy will carry the company on his back. And of course, Tanahashi was that guy who carried the company on his back for so long. And this would put Yuya Uemura to the test. But however, this match surprisingly ended with, of course, Tanahashi countering Yuya Uemura with the armbar. And just like that, he pinned him 1, 2, 3. It was over. Our next match, this is for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team belts. Now, we originally thought that Sho and Kanemaru were going to be challenging Wato and Yo for these belts. However, Kanemaru showed up with a arm wrist. We don't know what was it about. However, Sho mentioned that there was going to be someone taking his place. And surprise, surprise, another blow. We did not anticipate what Evil was planning this entire time behind the scenes. It appears Doiki actually joined. This was the last thing I did not expect. Nobody expected this one coming from him. We know he was out on injury. The last time we saw him is when he showed up at the end of the Takataichi Mania event that Taichi and Taka put out, which was very saddened right there. I don't know what Taichi, Yuya Uemura, and of course Taka Michinoku are now feeling, that just 4 guys just became just 3 guys. But of course, this is the most brutal thing that happened. Kanemaru, that snakely little bastard, he faked the whole thing. He wasn't injured, for Christ's sakes. It was their way to ensure they win the tag team belts. That was the whole point. Not only that, they even targeted Wato's knee, the same injury he obtained, and they were using that in order to do so. And not to mention, once again, that snake, Kanemaru, comes out with the whiskey and just spit the mist out to Wato. But of course, Doki put Wato in a leg lock, and just like that, it was over. So basically, they stole another one. And of course, Sho, that little prick, he's smiling like he thinks that they're the best. Bullshit! No, they're not the best. They're cheaters, they're scumbags. One way or the other, someone's going to take them out. But the problem is, now House of Torture are gaining numbers. First it was Fale, then Chase, and now it's Doiki. Now, Doiki said that, he wasn't going to be into that whole, goody two-shoes stuff that, of course, now Taichi, Uemura, and Taka are in now. So it appears, in this case, he'd rather be with House of Torture. So, interesting. So, we'll see what happens. I hope someone takes those belts off of those jerk monkeys. Now, our next match is the IWGP Tag Team belts. The ones for the heavyweights, in case anybody asks. We have the challengers, Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii. No one expected those two to get along, and they did. And they faced the United Empire, Cal Newman and Great Khan. I think many of us might have thought there was no way Taichi and Ishii were gonna win that easily. But man, they took it to a whole effing level. They really, really stepped up the game, and I couldn't believe it. So it was like wow, but it was in fact Taichi with the Black Manifesto onto Cal Newman, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new IWGP Tag Team Champions. So this is another crown of achievement for of course Taichi. And of course, in the post-match comments, as you know, Yu Yu Uemura has spoken up to him and told him that I think it's time to make the main focus into the main unit. And of course, Taichi agreed with them. So basically, they're gonna try to make the main unit the more pinnacle focus, and I think that's a good thing coming from them. Now, our next match, we have the Never Openweight Championship. Bolton Oleg challenges Konosuke Takeshita for this belt. I was like so blown away. I mean, great match. I mean, Takeshita had defended that belt proudly, and not to mention, there's been too many hands that won this belt often. But I was so impressed with Bolton Oleg. I mean, he is showing exactly what he was made of, and out of nowhere, he pulled off the kamikaze, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new Never Openweight champion. So just like that, it was over. Now our next match is the dog collar match. Evil, he brought the entire house of losers by his side. Yeah, Kanemaru, Yujiro, Sho, Ren, Dick, Chase, Fale, and now Doiki. But however, David Finlay, as you know, well, he's not afraid of any fight. He is the kind of guy who will go and show balls to the walls to show him that he's not afraid. But however, he's not an idiot. He knows that Evil always has tricks up his sleeve. So Geto brought him back up. So he brought Maloney, Ishimori, Connors. Now Gabe could not be participating because he was in the next match. But of course, the Board Dogs, they can do so much. I mean, there are less numbers of them now. So I think that's the biggest, how do I say, not a problem, more like this is a problem that they need to resolve. Try to add more members. I mean, we know they have Robbie X, and he's probably went back to the UK. They should try to add more numbers into the game, and that's the thing. However, of course, House of Torture got involved. But David Finlay was choking out. He did not tap out. The ref made the decision to call it. And I'm sure Evil, smiling with that little smug face of his, thinks he got away with it. But sooner or later, David Finlay will get his payback. The War Dogs will come back with greater numbers if they can find the right recruits they need. So the real question is, where do we go from here now? Now, Evil can say that he won this whole thing, but he hasn't. David Finlay refuses to back down. So we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, this is the semi-main event, is the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji defends it against Gabe Kidd. Now, these two guys have been the two people who've been feeling like they're the effing future. Now, Gabe Kidd have often said, Tsuji, screw you. You are not part of the future. I am. So he's always been like the guy saying that Tsuji doesn't deserve to be part of that future of the company. That's always been like his game right there. Not to mention, these two guys know each other during their Young Lion days. So you can see that the rivalry dates back a lot longer than you anticipate. But man, this match was crazy. I mean, pile drivers being kicked out of it, the Gene Blaster, that sort of thing. I don't know how many multiple times that Gabe Kidd had tried the pile driver until, just like that, he pulled it off. 1, 2, 3. Brand new IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. But however, Tanahashi decided to step up to become the next person to challenge him for this belt. And of course, Gabe Kidd, he's not afraid. He always tries to prove that he is now the future of the company. And I think in a way, he wants to see if he can pull it off. Because I know he cried during the match between Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega during Wrestle Kingdom, if you guys remember that, or was it that? But we'll see. I can't remember. But anyway, let's move on to our last match, which is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Shingo Takagi faces Hiroki Goto. Another brutal match. I mean, these two guys are two of the toughest SOBs on the freaking roster. You probably would say it's going to be impossible for one to take out the other. I mean, too many moves have been trying to apply. I mean, I know Hiroki Goto applied the GTR, backfired. I'm sure Shingo did the same thing too, but damn, everything. I mean, not to mention they took it outside the ring as well. And just like that, they kept on going until finally Goto applied the GTR, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the championship. Still, the Goto Revolution goes on. So Goto remain as their champion. So the real question is, how long will he have it? Some people think that he probably will lose it now by the start of 2026. And those who say that Tsuji dropping the belt or Takeshita dropping the never open belt, there are those who are now speculating, thinking that one of those two men will probably win the G1 Climax this year. So we will speak about that. Now I will put a separate news update to tell you guys who is participating in the G1, because they announced it and I wasn't paying attention, so I apologize for that part of me. But as of right now, let's end things here with New Japan and move on to our last thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Let's begin, of course, as always, with upcoming events. As you know, by the end of this month, SPARK Joshi Peruso of America will have their upcoming event, Ignite Texas, on the 29th of June. They announced that the SPARK Joshi World Championship will be defended. As you know, Azuki won that belt this past April during a SPARK show in Las Vegas. She'll defend her belt against Maya World, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, for those who know this or not, if you guys remember, Risa Serra, who announced her retirement that will happen at the start of 2026, has announced her self-produced show named after her tag team name with Maya Yuhiki, called Azure Revolution, and this will take place in Juku Face on July 9th. Now, names have been announced who will be participating in this event. They announced all three remaining members of Colors: Saki, Yuko Sakurai, Rina Amikura, and of course talent from Stardom. We have Sayuri Anu and Hanako. So those are the names that will be participating in this show. Jersey Championship Wrestling has announced a brand new show at the Mecca on August 3rd called High Noon. Chicago-based promotion Black Label Pro has announced their Hot Shots event on the 9th of August. They announced the debut of none other than Shotzi Blackheart. So yeah, so she'll be participating. However, another event will be taking place also on the 9th of August. This one is going to be an all-women's show hosted by none other than the fallen goddess Athena. So she calls it Who Runs the World. So basically it's going to be an all-female show, and I think many of us are looking forward to see how this is going to take place. So that's pretty much it, what's taking place for upcoming events. Let's talk about certain developments here. Now, our section we have right here is called the Fightful Select Report. As you know, Private Party's contracts will be coming up soon from AEW, so we don't know for sure if they will resign or they'll be leaving. However, Fightful Select reports that WWE have a preliminary interest in Private Party. So we haven't heard anything yet if Private Party are going to renew their contracts or they are not going to renew. That's one of the things we still don't know yet. Now, if WWE are interested, good. But, however, we haven't heard anything from Private Party what they're going to do, if they're going to resign or, of course, leave. I know some people will say that Private Party should just leave and go to WWE. Well, we'll see. That's up to them what they say. Now, also part of the Fightful Select, as you know, Damage Control. Well, apparently it's now been told that they are intentionally done with WWE. So now that Dakota Kai is gone, so basically they're going to leave that alone for now, for good. Congratulations to Trent Beretta. It was reported by his mother, Sue, that he got married. So congratulations, Trent. Many of you may know that what's been going on, not to be political or anything. You know, there's been some protests going around, and there was the protest that took place this past um, this weekend called the No Kings protest. Uh, it was it was revealed that CM Punk attended the No Kings protest in Chicago. Now, please, guys, try to keep this in mind. I'm not being political. I'm just reporting what I heard, and there's photos of Punk actually at the protest. Okay, so every person has a right to protest how they want to do it. If you have a problem with it, don't take it up with me. Take it up with Punk, because he's the one who attended. I did not. I was here getting ready to do this for all of you. So yes. So now you know. Now, as you know, I mentioned in the last report, has been confirmed now that Konosuke Takeshita will be participating in this year's G1 Climax with New Japan, and he will be in the B block. Now, I will do a separate report, update on that, who's participating in the tournament. So yeah. As you all know, there've been reports about wrestlers participating in the upcoming American Gladiator show. Wrestling Observer reports there's been some issues on one side due to the Miz on AEW talent. So it appears that, as you know, Camille and Warlow, AEW talent, will be in this. Now, I'm sure WWE are saying, what the hell? Why do you guys have these talents from AEW there? Have our guys be there or something. But I don't know. We still don't know exactly what's going to happen from there. I'm sure many people are probably want to know what's going to happen. So we'll see. Now, some of you may be shocked about this, and this was coming from Beast Mortos. Apparently, Beast Mortos has another job that he did. Apparently, he is now a divorce attorney. No, folks, I'm not joking. I wish I had. I wish I can slap myself in forever to wake up from this. No, he is, of course, a divorce attorney. Now, some of you may ask, why? Why would he do that? Well, this is why, and this is what he said. Officially, in a few months, I will be a lawyer. If you don't want to pay your ex-wife a divorce settlement, call me. I'm still learning to speak, but I can help you. Rawr. So, I'm not married. I don't have to worry about that. But guys, if you do have an ex-wife that you don't want to pay crap for alimony or whatever, you know who to call. So, I wish I was lying, guys, but I'm not. I wish. But this is for real. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I know there's recent events with Stardom. There's a new Choco Pro event also that came out, and I'm also catching up with the much recent Joshi events. I'm trying to catch up with Noah and All Japan if it's possible, so we'll see how things will progress here and out. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.